That's typically the experience for someone who's burning out as a writer. That's why in this video today, I'm gonna teach you how to overcome that just a little bit so that even if you aren't disciplined, you burn out after a couple hours or you go ham at it, you type 12 hours and your body can't keep up. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly the tips on how you can make sure so that your body can actually recover and even feel a little motivated afterwards. Alright, let's get started. Whether you are a freelance writer, you have to keep getting those blog posts or whatever writing you're doing, or maybe something like you're an author and you have a deadline for your book draft, alright? Whatever it is, at one point, those deadlines are they're gonna actually hinder us at one point, and it's gonna catch up to our body. It's okay doing it once or twice, maybe you have like a deadline, it's like studying, the night before a test. It's okay, but over time, that stress, that pressure eventually adds up in your body before at one point your body's gonna be like, I can't take it anymore, and it just goes, it just doesn't work anymore, and you don't want to write, you don't feel motivated, you just don't want to do anything. So how do we fix this, alright? So the best way is to rest your body, alright? Now, the rest of these tips are going to be some variations of resting. Each one has a different benefit to it, alright? But what exactly we're trying to go here is that resting is exactly what your body needs when you are overworking. See, when you are working 12 hours a day writing, what ends up happening, or for me at least, is that 80% of the stuff I put out is crap. I put 5,000 words in, 4,000 is crap, and I can't reuse it, alright? And that extra 1,000, it's after 12 hours, I can only use 1,000 words. Now that's progress, but a better, more effective way is to actually schedule rest in between. So this could be like a Pomodoro, you could do 60 minutes of work and then 10 minutes of rest, or maybe you can work for, 5 days a week and you have a Sunday and Saturday off, or maybe something like, you work 3 weeks straight and then you have the next month off. You see, you have to figure out what works best for you, because what most people don't realize is that most of the growth, most of the things that happen is when you are resting, when you're doing absolutely nothing. Because what happens during those times is all those neurons, all those writing, you're just tinkering out, you're pooping all over the page, you're just spilling out your thoughts, and everything that comes out of it is, sometimes it makes sense, usually it doesn't make any sense. And when you put it all together, the editing phase, the time where you just step back for a bit, you look back at it and you're like, alright, do I actually need the sentence? Maybe I could change it up a bit. And during those minutes of resting is when you can start connecting the dots to make sure that everything flows smoother, and in other words, put some rest some way that works for you, alright? Now, another little hack that you've probably heard of, but don't actually do, is taking a power nap. Now, a power nap is exactly what it sounds. You just lay down for 20 minutes and you take a nap. Now, what most people think is that when you take a power nap, you just you lay down and you just unconscious instantly. That doesn't always happen. What usually ends up happening is that you're just laying down on the floor, closing your eyes. Think of meditation, but you're lying down, alright? If you're exhausted, then you usually knock out like this. But what ends up happening is you're like meditating / napping / sleeping on the floor. And what ends up happening is that when you are in this process of taking a nap, okay, it's giving your body some rest, You just worked an hour writing and your body needs some rest. And during this nap, I found out that it's a lot easier when you're focusing on recovering your mental fatigue, is that it starts connecting the neurons whether you like it or not. So unconsciously, when you are taking this nap, quote unquote, whether you're conscious or not, it helps forms these connections that you might have not actually thought of before, okay? And a way to make sure that it's even more powerful is, I've had friends who do it. I don't really drink coffee because, I'm not a big fan of caffeine, but even though it's so delicious. But what you could do is you could drink coffee right before the nap. So what ends up happening is that, you take a nap, you drink coffee first, then you take a nap, and then when you wake up after the nap, you feel refreshed and you feel, the caffeine buzz. So that's a super power nap, alright? That's one way to do it. I prefer the regular power nap, but see what works best for you. The third thing is what many famous writers like to do, which is take a refreshing walk. For some reason, when you are out and about and you are walking and you're just going strolling, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the same, neighborhood you're in or whatever, what ends up happening is for some reason that refreshing walk, that little exercise, it just brightens up your mind. I don't know, it's like doing laundry for your head, alright? You just it cleans everything out and you just have you don't feel as tired and you can just take a fresh of breath air. For some reason, when you step out of your room and you just walk, you just feel 10 times better when you start writing again than if you just wrote straight for 2 hours. There's a lot of science between why exercise is good for your brain, but coming from personal experience, walking is just, you could do running, you could do exercise, but some sort of exercise. I prefer walking because, I like walking, but some sort of exercise, just take you out of that, just like a random jolt for your body. It just wakens up your body and it makes you so much better, so much faster. I have to take into consideration that it's actually my walks. I like taking a lot of walks, and it's like, I used to work, 4 to 6 hours straight, but what ends up happening is that I would just end up dead, alright? My mind would just feel like I'm slowly falling apart, and then when I go watch TV, I'm just melting on the couch. And I found out the difference is that when I took a walk, 2 to 3 times between those, 6 hours, I still feel a little tired, but it's not, I don't feel like melting on the couch, At least I'm alive, I'm still a little tired, but, I at least feel a lot better. And I think this is what has attributed to making sure that I don't burn out, alright? So find some sort of way to put some exercise, whether it's something mild like walking or something more intense like running. Find some way to put exercise and just make your brain stay sharp. Last but not least, you want to make sure that you are stretching your muscles. Now, these all seem like little things, right? Stretching, walking, and taking naps. But it's these little things, these little habits that have the potential to make sure that you're taking care of your body so that it just doesn't collapse on you, later in the future. So the reason why you want to stretch is because if you are a writer and you are just working on your desk all the time, 8 to 9 hours in the same positions, what ends up happening is that if you don't stretch, your wrist becomes tight, your forearms, your neck becomes a little stiff, your back, and it just doesn't feel good, alright? And it's better to be, at least feeling immobile rather than just stiff and burnt out, right? Anyways, what I like to do is I like to stretch my wrists, give it a little warm up here, stretch it out here, maybe a little arm crosses, stretch just for the back. And what I really like to do is doing a myofascial release. So this is just a fancy word where you just put a lacrosse ball and you just dig it into the muscle that's sore. Now, it is pretty painful, but at the same time, it feels really good. So when you get this lacrosse ball, you're just putting it right in a stiff area. It's like having a deep, hard massage. And what this does is, for some reason, after massages, if you had a massage, you know what I'm talking about, but you feel so much better. It's like taking a walk, but then it's just, your body feels free, And for some reason, when you take this myofascial release and you just you press it up against those sore muscles, it just makes your body feel so much lighter. And when your body feels not heavy, not stiff, and it feels, pretty good, well, you're less likely to burn out if you keep this up. So what I like to do is, I write for 60 minutes, and then during the 10 minutes, I either take a walk, maybe I do some stretching, maybe I do some yoga, some myofascial release, anything that makes my body keep in shape. Because if you don't take care of your body is going to face the consequences eventually. So you might as well, the best way to prevent burnout is to take care of your body and creating a balance between work and taking care of your body. Hope this helps. All right, peace out.